through the lockup, what you do? Hey, you could be like in. Hey, anybody hear me? Yeah. All right.
Guards! Shoulder! Arms! Guards! Uno! Arms! Red! Stand hold! S!
First, now there's the commissioner. Yeah, so we could go. As soon as you ready? Good morning. This is St. Vincent Grenadines Broadcasting Corporation coming to you live from Victoria Park on this, the 27th of October, celebrating our 29th anniversary of independence under the theme, Working Together to Enhance National Pride. I am Charlie Porter, and with me this morning is Mr. Kenneth Skerritt and Miss Tisa Farrell. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are now awaiting the first arrival of the Commissioner of Police. It's the conditions for parade this morning. One of the better days in terms of the condition of the park, but the temperature is warm already. So we are looking forward to an exciting day, Kenneth.
Oh yes, I just hope that it's very, as what you say, that is warm and sunny. And now the commissioner is going out to take his salute. There's the acting commissioner, Colin John. And he now arriving at the saluting this. The parade commander is the Enville Williams, Superintendent Enville Williams.
And David Trumpet is the adjutant, or the second in command of the parade is ASP David Trumpet. We are seeing this morning the guards from the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force, guard number 1, guard number 2, from the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force. As a matter of fact, guard number 1 is under the command of ASP Nigel Butcher, with Inspector Junior Simmons as his twice. The police number 2 guard is an all-female guard with Tekla Andrews, ASP, and Inspector Marlon Coffey. This one is an all-female guard. Number 3 guard, police, the Special Services Unit under the command of ASP Grafton Samuel and Maxian Richards. The Coast Guard, Lieutenant Ralphie Raggi and Sub-Lieutenant Tyrone Durham. The number 5 guard, the Auxiliary Police Force under the command of Captain Sidney Butte and Second Lieutenant Gwyneth Thomas. Number 6 guard, the cadets, the armed guard of the St. Vincent Cadet Force, Lieutenant Claude Bascom, Second Lieutenant Mary Truitt. Guard number 7, the Marine unit of the St. Vincent Cadet Force again. This is interesting. The Captain Violan Peterson is the guard commander. Her daughter, Julana, Peterson is the second in command. She's a second lieutenant. And the right marker is Staff Sergeant Julian Peterson, who is also her son. Interesting today. Last year we had mother and daughter commanding the guard. This year we have the mother, the daughter, and the son. The police band under the command of ASP Daniel Hall with the drum major Carcella Andrews. The cadet band is under the command of Captain Darian Olive, Major, and the drum majors Osborne Williams. We are still awaiting the arrival of the
Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister. Your thoughts, Mr. Skett?
Yes, as what Charles is saying, we are waiting on the arrival of the Prime Minister. Then we will have the Governor General. So this is where you start to put some strength into how much you can bear that sunshine, what we have right now. It's very sunny at this moment, and we're hoping that we will have a good parade this morning. Farrell, what do you think?
Well, I think the grounds, the parade grounds look beautiful this morning. The weather's keeping quite well, and our troops are looking quite well on the field this morning.
And Charles, you can see that we really have a good start. I think the last year we have the same thing. Last year.
Interesting. Yeah, we had good weather last year, but interestingly, we have missed, I think it's 2 rehearsals this year. And the troops are doing quite well. And remember, this is our 39th anniversary of independence, and we are witnessing live from Victoria Park our 39th anniversary military parade. That's what it is.
So I can say happy independence to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I can see that the crowd start to build up into the park.
And as we await the arrival of the Honorable Prime Minister, we are graced with the presence of the dignitaries. Tisa?
Okay, so we have H.E. Alexander S. Comax and Mrs. Irina M. Comax, the ambassador of the Embassy of the Russian Federation. H.E. Mac Anton Ohala, New Zealand High Commissioner. Ojala, sorry. Mrs. Waynell Allen Jones, Policy Advisor to New Zealand. Mr. Craig Fulton, Deputy British High Commissioner. Mrs. Debbie Worrell, Political Officer to the UK. Mr. Joaquin Montserrat, Deputy Chief of Mission to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and the OECS. Mr. John Haley, Second Secretary, Vice Consul to the USA. Miss Simon Brown, USA Admission to the USA. H.E. Juan Anibal Barria, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Chile to St. Vincent and the Grenadines from Chile. Mr. Matthias Bachmann, Charge d'Affaires of Switzerland. H.E. Anna Celia Pisano, Ambassador from Argentina. Mr. Christopher Ashton, the spouse of from Argentina. Javier Maria Carbajosa Sanchez, non-residing ambassador from Spain. Non-resident, sorry, ambassador from Spain. H.E. Mitsushiko Okada, Ambassador of Japan, Mrs. Marie Okada, his spouse, H.E. Sun Moonup, Ambassador of the Republic of Korea, Mr. Sheol Sang-kim, the First Secretary of Korea, Mr. Benoit Pierre Laramé, Charge d'Affaires of Canada, Mr. Luis Maria, First Counselor, Head of the Delegation from the European Union, H.E. Abderrahim Kadmiri, Ambassador of Morocco, Mr. Mohamed Ali El Kamlichi, Deputy Chief of Mission of Morocco, H.E. Oscar Espaza Vargas, Ambassador of the United Mexican States, Mexico, Miss Camille Crichton, Honorary Consul of the Kingdom of the Netherlands to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Dr. Prudo, Honorary Consul of France in St. Vincent.
Now we have the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Dr. Ralph E. Gonzalez, now arriving. At this moment, he is having a word with the girl guides. Before he enter the saluting this. Accompany him is the Commissioner, Acting Commissioner of Police, Colin John. And he now going to take the salute.
As the Prime Minister approaches, stands on the saluting days, the band plays a fanfare. And it's interesting. There's a mass band of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force and the St. Vincent Cadet Force. The St. Vincent Cadet Force is also celebrating, this year the band is celebrating its 50th anniversary. The parade now stands at ease, and we are waiting the arrival of
The Governor
His
General.
Excellency, the Governor General, Sir Frederick Ballantyne. The Governor General is motorbike, the Outriders, the GG's vehicle, and the security detail has now arrived at the park. The parade is now drawn to attention by the parade commander and awaiting the GG with his aide-de-camp, Captain Philip Cambridge, to the saluting days. The escort also includes the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, and the Commissioner of Police. is now at the present arms, where the officer on parade will report to His Excellency the GG, where he will invite him to inspect the parade. The Governor General will be told the amount of troops that are on parade, and they will proceed to inspect the guards with the music being played by the mass band of the St. Vincent Grenadines Cadet Force and the Royal St. Vincent Grenadines Police Force Band. It's a mass band.
We're going to inspect the gate.
Guard of Royal St. Vincent Grenadines Police Force.
Nigel Butcher. Second Inspector Junior Simmons. Guard number 2, ASP Tekla Andrews. Inspector Marlon Coffey. Guard number 3, ASP Grafton Samuel and Inspector Maxian Richards. Guard number 4, the Coast Guard Lieutenant Ralphie Ragge, Sub-Lieutenant Tyrone Durham. Guard number 5, Captain Sidney Butte, Lieutenant Gwyneth Thomas. Guard number 6, Lieutenant Claude Bascom, Second Lieutenant Omar Chewett, and Sergeant Rick Hunt. Guard number 7, Cadets Captain Vulan Lane Tetterson and Lieutenant Jalona, and Sergeant Julian Peterson.
So the Governor General is now having a word with one of the guard, member, yes. Now we're having another word with one of the member in the cadet. Yes, and he now inspecting the Marine guard for the cadet. Having a little bit of chit-chat with one of the guard members. I remember my time when I used to be out there on the parade ground as a right-hand marker. As I used to be the #1 guard. This way I used to display my drills.
Kenneth, the inspection is rather long as the, because it is on foot, the GG has to inspect all the troops that are on parade. And we are running 7 armed guards and 10 unarmed guards. So it is a rather long inspection. But the police band are doing mostly local folk songs. They under the command of ASP Daniel Hall, because it is now a mass band and music is universal.
That's right. See, presently, the Governor General inspecting that is the guard for nurse, the student nurse. See, as the Governor General inspecting each guard, we having a little chit chat with one of the member in the guard as he go along. So where this way now is inspecting the unarmed guard. Yes, it's a lovely day in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, warm and sunny, which is good. That's the sky is blue, no dark clouds at this moment. I should say good morning to those in the diaspora who are watching the parade. It's in this Grenadines celebrating 39th year of independence.
And Kenneth, the police band has chosen the songs To God Be the Glory, At Calvary, and I know quite which are generally gospel songs for the inspection.
Yes, but I show that is hall, ASP hall. I should a good bandmaster, and he always take his job very seriously. From the time when he joined the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, and he is doing a good job. I think he take over from the former bandmaster as we call Vicky Jambak Haynes. And now the Governor General is having a word with the bandmaster, Daniel Hall.
And then the exciting part of the inspection is going to be the Governor General now returns to the saluting days. Where the guard commander will know.
You know, he's going to thank the Governor General to inspect the guard, and then he will take his salute and go back in the center of the parade.
The commander now returns to his original command position. There's an about turn. In preparation for the march past.
Which Chalice, I believe you were saying is you started saying is the exciting part of the parade. That's what you started saying earlier?
There's awaiting now the exciting part of the parade. Because when you come to the park, you look forward to the march past. We are now having the troop, which is the showcase of both bands. And if you pay close attention to the drum majors, there's one female, one male. There's a female drum major, the police band, and the male drum major, Carcella Andrews and Sam Williams as the drum major. The cadet band celebrating 50 years, decked in their scarlet berry and red and white plumes. And they are playing in the slow march an old folk song called Galfus. Lisa, you want anything about that?
Yes, actually, I know that song, that folk song, Chalice. I believe the words go, Dalphus gone, Dalphus gone, Dalphus gone away. Yes, Chalice, I know that song very well.
You could.
Chalice, she beat it to a boy. He thought that he had you covered it.
Yeah, I know, right? I think I learned it in school. I think I was in primary school when I learned that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming to you live from Victoria Park. This is St. Vincent and Grenadines Broadcasting Corporation on our 39th anniversary of independence. What a glorious date is for parade. And interesting, looking at the crowd, it is building, and you're seeing persons decked in their national colors of blue, some say yellow, or gold and green. And some persons are decked in the three colors, somewhere in the yellow, or somewhere in the blue.
And you know the theme for this independence is working together to enhance national pride. We are coming to you live from the Victoria Park.
Now the bands, in terms of the troop, will now march in quick time, playing Welcome to St. Vincent. All the side drums are decked in the national colors. They are draped in the national colors. The band will now return to its original position, where the drum majors or the band will do what is called a counter march, and we will now await the salute to the nation, which is a military display. Last year, Kenneth, we had an exciting display by the Pathfinders,
and the seventh day.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
right? Adventists. Well done. So you get a good response from the crowd.
The guard commander has given the command for the salute to the nation. The display this year is going to be done by the 2 guards of the St. Vincent Cadet Force, the Marine unit, decked in blues, light blue, and light blue shirts and dark blue trousers. The other cadet guard, the number 6 guard, decked in all greens, scarlet beret, wearing white gloves.
So
Captain
they are going to form the 39.
Captain Peterson and Lieutenant Claude Bascom are the officers commanding the guards. And they are accompanied by the music of the mass bands playing God Bless Our State.
And right now they are at Port Arms.
What appears to be going around in circles
Okay, they are forming the 39. So you get a different beat of the drum to change
the
change in
Marine
position.
unit, the Marine unit doing the figure 3, and the regular cadet guard is doing the 9.
Now you see that they display the 39. And they all present arms.
There goes the baby.
F-21 going salute.
Our celebrating our 39 years of independence. We are now having the 21 gun salute, which is the salute to our nation state. Tisa.
Yes, Chalice. We can see the troops out there on the field as they do the salute.
Mr. Scary, this would have been one of your most scarier moments.
Yes, my brother. As you know, always bring me back to the time when I used to be at the parade. Always looking forward for this.
It is. The first shot is always scary. You jump sometimes almost out of your boots.
Get back into shoulder arms. So what they're doing now is the outward turn.
Now it takes some training and some precision to be able to carry on this type of display with such ease. Sometimes you see the troops marching down the road almost the entire month of October. This is the end result of preparation skills.
Well, to do this kind of display, and generally that you have to do some rehearsal in order, because on the day itself you want to look good. This day we're talking about no mistakes. Everything should be perfect. Because I remember years ago, our rehearsal used to start like a month in advance. So on the day itself, it must be good. No mistakes.
Now, in preparation for the march pass,
Which they are forming in two ranks.
and this is one of the things that always appear to be confusion. People just shifting left, shifting right.
And actually, I don't want to be biased, Chalice, but in my days as the when I used to be in the Coast Guard, you know, that used to be the number one. You agree with me, Chalice?
I'm listening to you. That's the difference.
I used to be the outstanding guard, you know.
Now, if we follow now, we are going to be
Good
having the march pass in quick time. Music accompanied by the mass band playing.
They're currently playing God Bless Our State. Sorry, God Bless Our Homeland.
So this is where they are now. Where they are doing now the slow march. Now every the guard depends on the right hand marker. And the guard commander ensure that they give the commander on the right foot. So in this situation here now, you are marching by the right. So here is what you ensure that you don't go above the person on your right in front. Do you have number one guard?
Now passing the saluting this. Here's an eyes right. The weapons being carried at shoulder arms.
follow in number 2 guard, all female guard. Under the command of ASP Andrews.
The number 3 guard
Is SSU.
SSU, led by ASP Grafton Samuel. Now we have guard number 4, the Coast Guard, led by Lieutenant Ralphie Ragge and Sub-Lieutenant Tyrone Durham.
Now we are seeing the trooping of the colors, where the ensign, the colors of his St. Vincent Cadet Force, and the national flag of St. Vincent and Grenadines. The flag carrying 2 ensign, 1 lieutenant, 1 second lieutenant, 2 guards, and a sergeant major.
Now we have guard number 5, led by Captain Sidney Bute and Lieutenant Gwyneth Thomas.
It is
Guard number 6,
yes,
led by Claude Bascom, Lieutenant Claude Bascom, Second Lieutenant Omari Chewett, and Sergeant Rick Hunt.
The number 7 guard is the interesting one. Mother,
and daughter.
daughter, and son.
It is the cadets, the Marine cadets, and it's led by Captain Vulon Lane Titterson, Second Lieutenant Jolona Lane Titterson, and Julian Peterson, Sergeant Julian Peterson.
I should say well done to Modern Daughter. Everything is sequent. Well rehearsed, man.
It's an interesting song at this particular time.
the slow march. They will be going into the quick march.
Yes, and the songs they'll be marching to are God Bless Our State, Solidarity Forever, Dalphus, and Welcome to St. Vincent.
So what is happening now? The band reduced.
So there we have it. They have begun the quick time.
And they will be joined by the
other troops.
Yep, what is referred to as the unarmed guard.
So the parade commander go out, meet the first #1 guard, measure the distance, turn around, and parade up to the saluting list. And I gave the eyes right. That's the #1 guard.
Now we have the #2 guard. The #3 guard now passes the salute in this.
The SSU. Yes.
The SSU.
And I should say I have my favorite guard.
Your favorite guard.
Yeah.
The Coast Guard. Okay, here comes the Coast Guard. Well, you know, you have a favorite. I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
Because I used to work in the Coast Guard.
Yes. The #5 guard. The #5 guard, you know, was the is the auxiliary. We have the #6 guard.
The cadets.
The cadets led by Mr. Bascom Chewett, Lieutenant Chewett, and Staff Sergeant Rick Hunt. Then we have guard #7, the Marine. Okay, so now we also have the prisons approaching.
Yes. Prisons have a small guard.
Yes, and they'll be followed by the nurses, then the scouts, Rangers.
So the prisoners now take the now at the saluting this.
Correct. Yes.
Then we have the nurses there.
Yes. We now have the Rangers approaching the saluting booth.
Yeah.
We now have the guides. And the guides is quite a larger number.
Yes, the girl guides.
Yes, they are.
There's another section of the cadet now approaching at the saluting booth.
And now we have the Police Youth Club approaching.
Looking smart.
Yes.
Police Youth Club.
And the Girls Brigade.
The prep party in the back or the rear, Sam Major, O'Neill, the Sergeant John, Wilmot John, followed by the twice or the second in command, the Adjutant David Trumpet. Interestingly, the guys are the person who are responsible for putting the parade together with under the command of Major Bertilion Hamilton. The police band is now
They are returning back to their
their original position. And we are awaiting now item the address to the nation. This is where
the address by the Prime Minister, the Honorable Ralphie Gonsalves. Now they are going to form three ranks. The parade is now stand easy, then they get the other command at ease.
This is the time when we await the address by the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves. Hopefully there are going to be some goodies. So that's what we look forward to at Independence Day.
But Charles, first time days, before the Prime Minister gave Independence address, the parade used to be given a march with advance, quick march, which is 14 paces left, right?
Yeah, advancing review order, but because we are using now the hollow square formation, because of the size of the parade ground.
Excellency, the Governor General. Honorable members of the Cabinet and Parliament, members of the judiciary and the clergy, Your Excellencies of the Diplomatic Corps, specially invited guests, the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines here today at Victoria Park, and especially the children, and very much those who are on the parade ground, persons who are listening to us in their homes and in the hospitals. Today is a magnificent day. It is a blessed day. It is a day that the Lord has made. Let us continue to be glad and rejoice in it. We are fortunate and blessed today. The hills are joyful together. There is a blue cathedral of the sky with the sun for steeple, and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines are gathered in an august assembly, free, a free people in which they themselves determine their destiny. We thank Almighty God. I want to thank the members of the parade ground, and especially Superintendent Enville Williams. I also like to thank the police band and Assistant Superintendent Daniel Hall. You have done us very proud today, and we love you very much. Fellow Vincentians, our modern, progressive, liberal democratic state, known as St. Vincent and the Grenadines, acceded to formal constitutional independence 39 years ago. Despite the material limitations of our small island developing state and our excessively burdensome external challenges, including adverse climate change, we have built most assuredly a country which, according to the United Nations Human Development Indices, is located at the higher end of the category called middle-income developing country. We thank God. More particularly, the material advances made in the last 18 or so years have been extraordinary, more so in the difficult circumstances which have come to us from outside, not of our own making. The evidence is before us of our material progress in job and wealth creation, improved living standards, education, health, housing, physical infrastructure, social equity, and safety net enhancements, the dramatic reduction in indigence and undernourishment, the universal spread of water, electricity, and telecommunications, sports and culture, good governance, openness and transparency, deepening regional integration, and an efficacious foreign policy grounded in high principle and practical considerations. We have chalked up impressive achievements by reason of our people's hard and smart work. Our practical commitment to freedom and democracy. The efforts of our diaspora scattered overseas. The assistance and solidarity of our development partners. And wise, responsible, responsive leadership. Underpinning all of this is our people's daily reaffirmation that our nation is founded on the belief in the supremacy of God and the freedom and dignity of man and woman. At Independence Day 2018, we thank God for all our blessings, and I congratulate our nation on its immense accomplishments. Through the fever of history, through the travails and hardships and suffering of native genocide, African slavery, indentured labor of Madeireans and Indians, colonialism and imperialism, through all of these episodes of pain, we have built a free and democratic society which has solved spectacularly the debilitating problems of intolerance, race, and ethnicity, even though conflicts still arise from the constellations of class, status, and patriarchy. Still pending is our just demand for reparations for native genocide and African slavery, the legacies of which have underdeveloped our nation. Our St. Vincent and the Grenadines has adopted and adapted from universal and Western values, and we have fashioned our own homegrown Vincentian and Caribbean matrices in culture and in our society. We have arrived at this historical juncture as an integrated, creolized whole, albeit with occasional dissonances, a magnificent component of our esteemed and noble Caribbean civilization. We have much to teach other countries, as we have much to learn from them. At Independence Day 2018, our lives, living, and production are in a better shape than they have been at any other time in our history. To be sure, there are awesome challenges derived from internal and external sources. But our people and our government are alive to those challenges and the extant condition of all the relevant circumstances. And we have a clear idea as to the way forward. We are not innocent of our difficulties, and we are crystal clear as to how we move forward. There are those among us, fellow Vincentians, who are addicted to the malaise of learned helplessness and paralyzed by contrived recitals of lamentations. Most of our people do not subscribe to any of these anti-developmental impulses or maladies. Rather, we elaborate and pursue a compelling developmental narrative stuffed with sensible policies and practical programmatic details. Moreover, overwhelmingly, our people, with good reason and inspired experience, believe that our Lord's compassion faileth not. Morning by morning, new mercies we see. All that we need, his hand had provided. Great is his faithfulness. We thus apply our heart to wisdom, utilize our knowledge, embrace understanding, and work productively. This has been the tried and tested formula for good and successful living from time immemorial. It is a formula that served well both Jews and Gentiles. We remember and thank our forebears and their leaders for their contribution in building a platform upon which we further build and advance. Currently, a bundle of policies and programs of our government is delivering much success and promises to yield even more in the future. The historic Argyle International Airport, AIA, which began operations on February 14, 2017, has occasioned an increase in passengers by air. Successful direct non-stop connections have been established between Argyle and New York and Toronto, respectively by CAL and Air Canada. On December the 15th this year, American Airlines begin their non-stop flight from Argyle to Miami, and other international carriers and destinations are in the offing. The doomsday pessimists have been proven wrong yet again and again about Argyle International Airport. Meanwhile, the existing hotel stock is expanding, and new hotels and apartments are currently being built or shortly to be built. The resort at Adams Bay in Bequia is about to be opened. The Buckerman Bay Resort has finally been sorted out with new investors who are soon to take over ownership. The Black Sands Resort at Peters Hope is under construction. The Mandarin Canouan Resort is in operation. And the government has secured low-cost funding to construct a 250-room brand-name hotel at Mount Twin and a 90-room airport hotel at Diamond. The cruise and yachting visitors are dramatically on the rise. And the top-of-the-line Glossy Bay Marina in Canouan is about to enter its first full year of operation. Current expanded initiatives in fishing, agriculture, manufacturing, and the proposed medical cannabis industry offer solid prospects for real economic growth and job creation. The diversified economy is growing and being placed on a sound footing. Indeed, this year, our country is experiencing economic growth, albeit modest, following upon marginal to modest economic growth in each of the last 7 years. At the same time, the government's fiscal condition has improved despite the loss of substantial resources under the Petro-Carib Agreement, occasioned by the unwise banking and financial sanctions against Venezuela. Fellow Vincentians, you would note that amidst all our challenges, we have not gone to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, nor have we sold our citizenship and passports. Our passports and citizenship are not commodities for sale. We oppose such sale in principle and in practice. I so reaffirm today. As the private and cooperative sectors, including the credit unions, continue to play a significant role in our country's development, current initiatives by the state sector, facilitate and fuel further developmental advance. We see so in the consolidating and expanding of the education, health, and housing revolutions. The expansion of renewable energy. We have just spent $20 million on making the two of the hydro plants more efficient. We have started up the $100 million US geothermal project. And we are turning out solar installations. We are advancing practical plans to build a modern cargo port for $145 million US. And the city at Arnesville, including the anchor project of the acute referral hospital at a cost of $50 million US. Those plans are continuing apace. And we are constructing satellite warehouses for the National Emergency Management Office. In the meantime, substantial and vital infrastructure works on roads, bridges, sea and river defenses, they are all ongoing in order to strengthen our country's resilience against climate change. Indeed, between 2010 and 2017, our country has suffered loss and damage in the sum of 700 million Eastern Caribbean dollars, or in excess of 1/3 of our country's gross domestic product, due to storms, excessive rainfall, landslides, raging seas, and rivers. The weather patterns arising from climate change are now unfamiliar in time, type, and seasonality, unprecedented in their frequency and intensity, and thus urgent beyond measure. Both the pre-existing condition of countries like ours and the immediacy of climate change have given rise to the many-sided concept of small state exceptionalism as a category in the global political economy which deserves an especial carve-out and recognition beyond the traditional rubric hitherto of special and differential treatment. At a global level, climate change has in part redefined the issues touching on peace and security. New global security challenges beyond those with which the world has been traditionally occupied have come to the fore. Non-state actors, for example, have launched activities antithetical to peace and security. And states, not only so-called rogue states, have branched off into or permitted activities which undermine global peace and security. The circumstances are thus propitious, fellow Vincentians, for a small island state to seek a role at the United Nations Security Council as a non-permanent member. Accordingly, St. Vincent and the Grenadines is poised to become the smallest country ever to sit on the Security Council, representing the 33 member states of GRULAC, the Group of Latin America and the Caribbean, for the years 2020 and 2021. The elections at the General Assembly of the United Nations take place in June 2019. Our election to the Security Council would represent an extraordinary historical moment for St. Vincent and the Grenadines and all small states, and indeed all humanity. We stand in solidarity with all who suffer from the scourge of climate change. Last week, our cabinet approved the sum of $40,000 US as a token, as a mark of our solidarity with the people of Trinidad and Tobago consequent on the terrible floods which have recently afflicted them. Fellow Vincentians, It is painful and sobering that despite our immense progress in material and non-material terms, a small number of persons, mainly young males, who are wholly unrepresentative of our nation's young male population, have chosen a life of crime, especially violent crime. They have chosen to invest in low-end but dangerous gun violence and have become veritable armed entrepreneurs, living off the fat of the land, making absolutely no contribution to the country's development, sucking from it and preying, P-R-E-Y-I-N-G, preying on innocent, law-abiding people of all walks of life. Some persons who should know better make excuses for these people and their criminal conduct. Sometimes there are ridiculous excuses that come close to bizarre justification. The simple fact is that neither the society nor the economy commits violent crime. It is the individual, and that is where the responsibility lies. There is absolutely no reason for any person in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be violent toward another or to rob anyone. There are enough opportunities and support systems for anyone who considers himself or herself disadvantaged. Sensible people do not buy into this so-called disadvantage thesis as the cause of crimes. It is important to note that most of the violent criminals are not truly disadvantaged, but we know that they are greedy and covetous. They refuse to work, and they take some selfish pleasure in using violence against other persons. Yet, we must not cast these young men aside. We must seek to rehabilitate them, even as the legal system addresses the appropriate punishments. Having said all this, I reiterate that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is overwhelmingly a peaceful and secure part of God's earth. Let us bolster further its peace and security against a handful of violent criminals. Emphatically, we must not be dumb and soft on crime. And we stand askance from those who are playing smart with stupidness on this issue. We must strive for peace on earth, and it begins with you and me, as the popular hymn avers. Our government continues to protect and uplift and afford opportunities for personal development to those who find themselves in a disadvantaged condition. In this regard, a raft of initiatives exists which are fit for the purpose. The recently established Zero Hunger Trust Fund is performing excellently and offers more than a ray of hope for its beneficiaries. I urge all persons, young, old, middle-aged, men and women, who face onerous challenges in their lives and living, to seek the support and assistance from one or more of the relevant government's programs and agencies. Seek and you will find. Knock and opportunities are available. Still, remember always that you must make the maximum individual personal effort in order to better your life and living. Young persons in particular are urged to take advantage of the bountiful, lawful opportunities available. Fellow Vincentians, I have a few timely announcements to make. First is the issue of the non-appointment of scores of graduate teachers. Last year, I announced that those who were hitherto not formally appointed would be appointed in annual batches over a 3-year period. Early this year, over 100 graduate teachers who obtained their university degrees prior to, up to, and including 2012 have been appointed as graduate teachers. As of January 2019, another 120 or so graduate teachers will be thus appointed in respect of those who obtained their university degrees in 2013, in 2014, and in 2015. 120 of them. And in January 2020, the remainder of the graduate teachers will be appointed as such. Thereafter, they will be appointed as a matter of course. Secondly, the program of facilitating farmers who are accorded leases of agricultural lands to obtain freehold title for those lands continues apace. And many, many farmers have been taking advantage to get the title to their lands. I urge them to go to the Ministry of Lands and get on with their own lives, with their own titles. Further, later today at the Chateauneuf National Park at Rabaca, nearly 120 persons will be allocated individual lots of lands for housing construction. Some 5,000 lots of land have been distributed to deserving beneficiaries since March 2001. This is absolutely remarkable. An explosion of housing in this country has occurred among the poor, the working people, the middle-income earners, and young persons. Visitors to St. Vincent and the Grenadines tell us all the time what wonderful housing infrastructure we have been building in our country. Thirdly, for students now pursuing the 4-year bachelor's degree in nursing, the government will pay 1/3 of the already subsidized fees, in addition to providing for them a monthly stipend of $1,000 per month, as was done hitherto with the RN and associate degree programs. Further, supporting loans are available from the economically disadvantaged student loan program. Clearly, the government knows, the people know, and the nurses know, and we all know that this government loves the nurses. And shortly, recruitment will begin from our surplus of nurses whom we are training to go to the United Kingdom. And that process will start very soon. Fourth, this year, the government has made available the highest number of awards ever at one time. 48 to students who sat the CAPE and associate degrees in 2018. These are 17 national scholarships, 11 national exhibitions and bursaries. This package amounts to approximately $7.1 million. This is a huge investment in the 48 outstanding students in these 2018 examinations. Additionally, the government pays their economic costs annually to the university or a similar sum to other universities, so that the total package becomes over $10 million. That's what we are investing in just this batch of young people. Of course, several millions of dollars more are spent on university education for the students, and other scholarships, tuition grants, and other forms of assistance, including student loans. We are on target for 1 university graduate per household by 2030. All across this land, the children of the poor and the working people and all other classes and income groups have seen their children, their young people go off to university. This is something which pleases us greatly to see our young advance. Fifth, my government is determined to bolster further the financial assistance granted to its employees, civil servants, police officers, teachers, nursing assistants, who are pursuing undergraduate studies at the degree, diploma, or certificate level in approved priority subject areas at accredited institutions online or at the community college or at the open campus of the University of the West Indies. This assistance would amount to up to 1/2 of the cost of each course, which is successfully completed. Sixth, in an effort to boost private sector investment in fishing, and we have to grow the fishing industry, the government has decided to accord a 100% duty-free concessions to Vincentians purchasing fishing vessels. This will undoubtedly stimulate substantial fishing. At the present time, the pirogues, not the big fishing vessels, which use outboard engines, they get 75% duty-free concession. Seventh, as a companion to the Pan Against Crime initiative, the government will in 2019 implement a comprehensive sport against crime initiative in conjunction with those sporting organizations which are interested in so doing. 2 such national sporting organizations have raised the matter thus far with me. If the government will shortly establish a committee on the renaming of buildings, roads, and parks to reflect the post-colonial condition of our peoples. We all admit that it is high time to alter this particular naming, which has been done in the past from colonial times. On many of our streets and villages, we see the names of minor colonials that we call these places and these roads after them. Surely, we have come of age and we should be able to address this matter in a united way and move forward. Ninth, this year it is my pleasure to announce that Ian Allen, a former West Indies Test cricketer from our country, is hereby appointed as a sports ambassador. At the same time, we send Independence Day greetings to 3 of our nationals who are currently touring India with the West Indies cricket team: Sunil Ambris, Jomel Warrican, and Obed McCoy. Obed is actually playing the one-day international today. And we also take the opportunity to express condolences to Sunil Ambris and his family on the recent passing of Sunil's father, Mr. Walford Ambris. May he rest in peace. And finally, with the announcements, the date for the commencement of the duty-free concession on Christmas barrels is November the 12th, 2018. The concession will run until December the 31st, 2018. Last year, over 20,000 persons benefited from such concession. Fellow Vincentians, on this Independence Day, I urge all of us to reflect carefully and learn from all the factors and circumstances which have ensured our continued progress, despite serious challenges, mainly externally sourced, but some also homegrown. This blessed place called St. Vincent and the Grenadines belongs to us. We own it. It is up to us to make it better, to make it the best it can be. People and governments from other lands may help us, but no one owes us a living. To be sure, there are global challenges which all of Earth's peoples must work together to address and overcome, wholly or partially. But at the end of the day, we Vincentians have the primary obligation to take care of our own affairs. We have been doing so fairly well, but each of us must do better. Do better today than yesterday to do the best we can. There are abundant possibilities and strengths in our condition despite weaknesses and limitations. I reiterate what I said to you last year at this event. Be optimistic, not pessimistic. Be positive in our attitude, not negative. Be upbeat, not borne down by lamentations. Think and act creatively. Push the outer limits of our possibilities. Do not allow limitations to encumber you. Beware of false prophets and apostles of doom and gloom. Avoid those who pull down St. Vincent and the Grenadines and who never see anything good, only bad. Beware of those who wish the worst for us. Those who would see our country burn, metaphorically, only for them to be kings and queens of the resulting ashes. Such persons are always in a condition of permanent dissatisfaction, and who have nothing in them but a self-absorbed personal agenda, which is unlikely ever to be satisfied. Listen not to those types. Stay true to your positive self. On a personal note, I say poetically that the woods are serene, they are lovely, and they are deep. But I have promises to keep. And more time to go before I sleep. And more time to go before I sleep. This is a magnificent day that the Lord has made. Happy Independence 2018, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Have a wonderful time.
If you are just joining us, we are joining you live from the Victoria Park as we celebrate our 39th anniversary of independence. We just heard from the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Ralph E. Gonsalves, and he discussed the development that our country has seen over the years. You heard him speak about the construction of the airport, from which we are now seeing the arrival and departure of international flights. He spoke about the construction. Yes, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, spoke about the construction of the Black Sands Hotel and an airport hotel at Diamond. He also showed that we are now seeing relief with the Bukama Resort. He highlighted that we are seeing tremendous economic growth throughout the nation with an expansion and also an expansion in education, health, and the housing revolution. He spoke about the construction of a modern cargo port and the city at Annisville, as well as the construction of satellite offices for NEMO, which would aid us as we try to implement measures against climate change, which we know that the rivers have been in need of the defense, river defense. He spoke about the approval of by cabinet of $40,000 to aid in relief for those who were afflicted by flood in Trinidad. He spoke about the need to rehabilitate those youths who have been engaging in crime and violence, and highlighted that there are enough opportunities and support systems for those youths who deem themselves disadvantaged. He stressed that there is no need for them to engage in crime and violence because of these opportunities. He highlighted that despite these challenges, we are still a peaceful nation and we must continue to be such. He also spoke about the appointment of graduate teachers, and in keeping with his promise, he said that over 100 graduate teachers prior to and up to and including the year 2012 have been appointed, and assured that by January 2019, over 120 graduate teachers who received their degrees between 2013, 2014 and 2015 will also be appointed, and the remainder will be appointed in 2020. He also highlighted that students acquiring Bachelor of Nursing degrees the government would subsidize 1/3 of their fees, and they would also receive a stipend of $1,000 a month. And he highlighted that nurses we would soon see a recruitment of nurses to work in the UK. The Prime Minister also noted that there has been a huge investment in education, and that over $7.1 million has been invested in education through scholarships and bursaries and the payments of economic costs for students studying overseas. And students continue to benefit from that. A lot of persons look forward to this, and it's the duty-free concession of barrels that begins on the 12th of November, and ends on December the 31st. He also highlighted that Vincentians would receive, fishermen would receive 100% concession on the purchasing of fishing vessels, but noted that those who are purchasing pirogues would receive 75% duty-free concession. In an effort to combat crime, he also noted that there should be the implementation of sports against crime, similar to the Pan Against Crime. He also highlighted that our cricketer, Ian Allen, has been appointed as sports ambassador, and highlighted the accomplishments of 3 cricketers. They are Sunil Ambrish, Jamel Warrican, and Obed McCoy, who are now touring India.
Thank you very much, Farrell. As you see now, the Governor General has left the parade, and also the Prime Minister, who is interacting with persons who come to view the parade. So the parade right now is awaiting to take the salute uptown that is next to the financial complex. So they are waiting to get the signal now to hand over the parade, which is Superintendent Enville Williams will hand over the parade to David Chumpit. But we are waiting for that movement. So it was a lovely day for the parade. No rain, as usually. Sometimes when you have parade, we used to have a lot of rain. I have experience with that. But it is so good that we have the sun right through, good sunlight. As what I must say, we have good weather.
Yes, the weather held. Yes, that was quite lovely.
Yes.
The display here this morning was also quite lovely. The attendance, the crowd was quite large this morning. And there were a lot of patrons here decked out in their national colors, showing their national pride. We're still seeing the yellow, blue, and green that represents our country here.
So we just are waiting to see what is happening next. As we say, that everything is just only standstill. So Charles, what do you think about the parade this morning?
I consider it to be an excellent parade. Consider it to be an excellent parade. Conditions are good, the troops are excellent. We are now awaiting the departure of the Honorable Prime Minister to go uptown outside of the financial complex to take a salute, and the troops are waiting.
See, you want to know the reason why the parade is still as at this stage here, because the Prime Minister was
No, there is
meeting and greeting.
There is a parade.
Yeah.
There is a parade, and the parade follows the departure, the arrival and a departure.
So the parade commander already handed over to the adjutant, which
yes.
is David Trumpet.
So we are now awaiting the marching off of the troops, where the troops will give a final salute and march around Kingston.
So here we are coming and live from the Victoria Park.
So Tisa, what has been exciting about today? What did the Prime Minister deliver?
Everything. Well, as I stated earlier, Chalice, he spoke about development, infrastructural development. He spoke about the assistance that our nation gives to other countries, and particularly in this case, Trinidad, who we know recently suffered from a flood. He highlighted that US 40,000 has been approved to aid them at this time. He spoke about the expansion to education, health, and housing. And he also spoke about ways in which youths those who engage in crime and violence would receive assistance. Well, he spoke about the Sports Against Crime, which should aid in combating crime among our youth, because he noted that although these youths may engage in crime and violence, there's no need for them to do so, since we do have the support systems that they need, as well as enough opportunities, which should be enough for them to abstain from crime and violence. As I stated earlier also, Chalice, he spoke about the appointment of teachers, which he had promised, and graduate teachers continue to receive their appointments. And in January 2019, those teachers who would have received their bachelor's in 2013, 2014, and 2015 would receive their graduate appointments, and the last batch would receive their appointments in 2020, with those, though the first batch having received their appointments, those who would have studied, received the bachelor's up to 2012, having received their graduate appointments.
So at this moment, the parade is heading out of the Victoria Park and marching uptown to take the salute at the financial complex, where you will have the Prime Minister, and also we have the Commissioner of Police. this has been a live broadcast coming to you from the Victoria Park.
Good morning once again. We are coming to you live from Victoria Park, and we are now signing off at the march off. This is SVG Broadcasting Corporation, and thanks to Hassan. His name is Tiny, but our technical crew, Steve Anderson, Sean Patterson on camera, Lawrence Roberts, his grips. Yeah, he handles all the technical support. And my broadcast team, Kenneth Skerritt, Tisa Farrell, who is new, and I am Charles Porter. See you next year. We celebrating 40.